Get right into it. They ended up losing 40-17. Um, Obviously, the same stuff has come up that has been coming up the whole season. The Chargers can either play the first half of offense or they can play the second half. Teams are making adjustments, are doing well to adjust to them. Yesterday, Todd Bowles started sending pressure, started jamming the receivers of the line, started doing a lot of different things to disrupt the Chargers' offense and confusing the offensive line, doing everything that they could. And they got to Herbert. They hit Herbert. They sacked him. They only allowed them to score 17 points. So I thought the turning point of this game, though, was in the second quarter. Joey Bosa rips the ball out of it wasn't Bucky Irving. It was Rashad White. Rips the ball out of his hands. Elijah Molden gets it. They're about the 49-yard line of the Chargers. They went 3 and out. The Chargers were up 17-10 at that point. If they would have gone down the field, scored a touchdown, you put it at 24-10. Baker's playing catch up. Chargers dropped a couple of interceptions also, but if you haven't played catch up, Baker gets antsy and he doesn't put on the game that he does. But I've been telling people this, and I've been telling you this for a while. That record, I don't care what the Bucs are at. They're a good football team. Baker said yesterday, we can run 12 personnel. We can run 21 personnel. We can run any kind of different personnel with the team that we have, and we can hit you in the mouth. And that's true. 200 yards of running against the Chargers, 200 plus, and then another 260 via the air with Mike Evans going completely off on the Chargers secondary. So they were able to do a lot of different things against the Chargers, and everything was successful, especially in the second half. Gilbert, they didn't punt the ball once. They were 9 of 15 on third down. The Chargers were 0 for 6 on offense. And all of a sudden, the Chargers are not running the football. They're not doing what they usually do. So, everything kind of fell apart. And now everybody's questioning Jim Harbaugh. They're questioning Greg Roman. They're questioning Joe Ortiz. And it's just the same song and dance every week. When they do well, everybody's going to be like, yeah, no, we're on the right path. When they lose, oh my God, these guys don't know what they're doing. There's journalists and other people that know they could run the team better than the people that are in there. It's like, dude, come on, like, let's get out of here. Like, that's not the way this goes. But I guess fans want to jump on, jump off, jump on, jump off. And I just feel like that's not a safe way to do this. But that kind of seems the way that fans and a lot of people are going. I'm still preaching what you and I have been preaching from the beginning: patience, but there is no patience right now for this team.
Yeah, that's kind of the annoying part about this season, that a lot of Chargers fans got way too excited about the Jim Harbaugh signing and just said immediately about to knock off the Chiefs in the AFC, immediately about to win the Super Bowl, immediately about to be a contender. And I guess I became the villain of the offseason because I kept saying, well, hold on. And maybe my analysis was a little too, a little off and a little negative. Maybe they are better. They're not 7 or 8 win team like I expected. They're probably 9 or 10. So they're still on track and doing well. It's a 2-year plan. But before I get to the Chargers, I want to just say I agree with everything you said about the Buccaneers, by the way, Fernando. I think they might even be better after these injuries because they were able to use K. Otton a little more. They had to rely on Rashad White and Bucky Irvin a little more. And that's going after the comments of Baker Mayfield saying we could play in different ways now. Now that Mike Evans is back, yeah, you lose Chris Godwin. But I think this offense is versatile, could beat you in different ways. So I think the Chargers defense saw that yesterday. But yeah, going back to the Chargers here, they are still a 2-year plan away. I think next year will be better. It's just too many injuries, a lot of glaring holes, a lack of depth. And here's what I'm going to harp on, Fernando. I think the defense was overrated a lot because of the easy schedule to start the season here. So, when I saw them give up a lot of points to the Ravens and the Bengals, I was like, okay, maybe we're a little too quick to crown the defense here. And to the credit of Liam Cohen and Todd Bowles, they watched that game plan. You could tell they watched those 2 games very close to set up their own game plan and expose that defense there. And when they came out with that touchdown to McMillan right away, I think Liam Cohen was probably saying, okay, we could attack this defense down the field. And you saw in the second half, they made an emphasis to push the ball down the field with Mike Evans, and then that game was over. When Baker Mayfield saw that Mike Evans was going to be wide open there and they can't stop it, they kept going to him back and back again. And now he's getting close to getting maybe that streak, by the way, Fernando, for 1,000 yards in a season. He might have
Yeah,
lost it because he
he
had
wasn't. He
3 games.
wasn't on, and last night kind of moved him back
Yeah,
into
like
that streak.
he missed 3 games. He had like 500 yards at that point. Now he's at 749 because he went off with 159 and 2 touchdowns right there. So I want to see him get that streak, by the way, because he will tie Jerry Rice for the most consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards receiving, which would be 11. He currently has a record for 10 consecutive to start the career. But yeah, I could praise Mike Evans for many, many, many minutes and hours because he's that good. 11 years in the NFL and still balling like that. But yeah, I think the Chargers defense was overrated. Jesse Minter, the last time he got a whipping like that was probably at the Fiesta Bowl where Quentin Johnson went off on Michigan. So it's been a long time. Nobody dropped 40 points. The Ravens and the Bengals didn't do it. Nobody's amassed more than 500 total yards. The Ravens and the Bengals didn't do it. The Buccaneers did. So this defense is also maybe a year away. We wanted to crown them very quickly, but that's a credit to Minter for making it work. But kind of young players, older players, and not really all the players that you want on your roster. But yeah, we're going to keep saying it. They're probably a year away from actually being a real contender. And just to be a little negative here, are you worried about them maybe dropping out of the playoff hunt? They're the 7th seed now. And also, what did they play Buffalo in the first round? Maybe the Chiefs too, but it could be a quick one and done, or maybe they fall apart at the end. Who knows?
I think the only way that they could do, like, if Indy and Miami would have won yesterday, then yeah, they should be worried. But I believe they only need to win one more game to clinch a playoff spot, if I'm not 100% mistaken.
Yeah, they do. Beat the damn Broncos, man, and get back on page.
No, and that's the game that they need to be focused on winning, because that game will show a lot. It'll shut a lot of people up. I thought Indy had one of the stupidest game plans I've seen, and that's why they kind of gave that game up. Jonathan Allen dropping the ball, and then the pick six. That
from the wide receiver.
What did they do? They threw a wide receiver screen. Yeah. Well, no, he threw it behind the.
Yeah, it was a fumble technically because it was behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, yeah, and then he threw it back to him, and he intercepted it, and he ran it back. Like the stupidity knows no ends. But just hopped on Compas. I saw that they had a holiday party over the weekend. Probably drank too much and weren't prepared. Their losses, their only outlier loss is the Cardinals. Everybody else, it's established coaches that have been in the league. Andy Reid twice, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Todd Bowles. And I know people are going to be like, Todd Bowles isn't in the same discussion as those guys. I get it. But he's been with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization since 2019.
Yeah, very good, at least on defensive side.
Yeah, and he got elevated to that head coaching job once Bruce Arians said, "Hey, I'm going to retire. I want to spend time with my family, with my mother, and I'm out." So yeah, the Chargers would basically need to lose out if Robert, if they would need to lose out. But I mean, in a sense, now everybody's talking about Liam Cohen, Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson for head coaching gigs. Maybe Jesse Minter stay. I mean, that's the best case scenario for these guys. These guys need him to stay. I really think that what's it called? I really think that Jesse Minter's. I think he's shown out. I think he's shown out with the personnel that he has, but it also takes him. It also takes them by surprise in a sense, like games like the ones that you mentioned against the Bengals and against the Ravens and against these guys. They just have high-powered offense is what's giving these guys trouble, and it's going to continue to give them trouble. But going back to that playoff scenario, I mean, you never know in the play. That's the thing. You never know in the playoffs. So, but
I don't know. I don't see this team beating the Bills at all. They're 2-7 matchup.
The what?
They cannot. They will not beat the Bills in a 2-7 matchup. I will not give them a chance.
Yeah, the Bills would have to like completely, but
they haven't stopped any of the good offenses this year defensively, and you can't score points either. I just don't see. Maybe the Chiefs, yeah, you know them well. You play, low scoring, hard fought games, but
and I'm not trying to be an optimist, but your offense can't even. Yeah, that's what score like, because they've been giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, on their side. That's the one thing you get, but they can't do that.
Yeah. Angel, I understand. Like, I get you guys are freaking out, but like, I can't even get into this because I feel like fans have been really
Well,
critical,
I want to hear
and
what
it's
was
easy to
that.
be critical from the couch, but they don't have the personnel to run their offense. Like everybody's been talking about it.
What
They
is it?
haven't
What
been
is the
able to
problem
run.
that with Jim Harbaugh, people are freaking out? Like, what did he do so bad yesterday? It
People
was a
think that
blowout.
his the clock management again, like people are freaking out because he decided to kick, he decided to punt instead of kick field goals. People thought that they gave too much time to the Chiefs last week. It's just little things that everybody forgets. Jim is also adjusting to being back in the NFL. This isn't the NFL that he left. This is a new NFL. Things have changed. Again, I'm not trying to I'm trying to be in the middle because I feel like a lot of fans are freaking out. A lot of fans think that they could do a better job. A lot of journalists think that they could do a better job. A lot of people in general think they could do a better job. And it's like, you guys also have to understand this team was a shit show. They have a lot of players that shouldn't even be out there. I could name you, I think only 12 players on this team should be actual starters, and the rest of them shouldn't even be starting on both sides of the team. And no, they got their asses kicked in that game. They got their asses kicked against Baltimore. They've gotten their asses kicked. I get it, but to also be freaking out after 10, what game are we at? 13 games in? I
14.
get it, but I just think but see, that's another thing. Greg Roman needs to go. Find a solution. Like I just don't get it. Like it's only year one. People are freaking out, and I'm kind of like, I would wait. They people need to wait. And then next year, what if they're what are we at? 13-2 at this point. Then what are people gonna say? That's the thing. You guys haven't even seen anything of it. That's why I don't understand the freak out. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I really don't get it.
Yeah, I thought there would be, I guess, a little better to the point where like there's a 7 seats. I guess that's my only kind of like concern here. But like they're gonna be a playoff team. They're gonna be so much better from anything that happened in the Staley era because they're actually working on building through the trenches and building the fundamentals. You know, building being a tough physical team. So yeah, they've been struggling against the bad. I mean, sorry, the good offenses, and that's why they've been a little overrated defensively. But the way they've been punishing the mediocre teams, the bad teams, like that's a right step in the direction there. So. People don't want to hear that, you know. I'm definitely not a homer, a positive person,
You
but
have to be able to beat those teams.
yeah. So if you could do that, take care of business against the bad teams and the mediocre teams, so you're in the playoffs. Like the Bengals are not, the Dolphins are not. So we'll see. They're gonna finish it. Like you're right, Fernando. There's 3 games to go, and they're 3 games ahead. I just worry about them being the 7th seed because you don't want to be in that position there. You can make some noise. Maybe you play the Steelers without George Pickens, and maybe TJ Watt's also banged up too. You could maybe get away with that, but. The 2-7, I don't think so. But hey, you're in the dance here, and who saw that coming last year during the dark days of the final year for Brandon Staley?
No, and even people before this season, a lot of people thought that Jim was only going to win 7 games, 5 games.
I said 8 or 7, so yeah, I was wrong.
Robert is so funny. Not a homer, you're a hater.
I am not. I'm the one saying let's come on, let's calm down, people. They're still in a good spot here. I'm being positive
But
today. Come on.
that's what I mean. That's what I don't get. Like this is a team. This is a lot of the players from the 5 and 12 charge. I keep on wanting to say 5 and 11. I keep on forgetting that they're 17.
Maybe 18 soon, so don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. What did they say? 20 by 2027?
Something.
But in Gilbert, this is what I was telling. I talked to a former Chargers legend or not, former Chargers player yesterday, and he goes, "My one area of concern is, and I know Jim's gonna fix this, is they need to stop getting Herbert hit so much because that could be Andrew Luck 2.0 if they're not careful." And I completely agree. They need to protect him, and
It's been tough,
their
but man,
plan.
there's a
And
lot of
it's
hits
been
he's
tough.
taking.
Yeah, it's been tough, and like I said, teams have been blitzing. Teams have been doing a lot of really smart things. Like yesterday, I think it was it come out? No, Gus Edwards and the tight end and Scott Madlock decided to block the same guy. Levante David came straight through, and then he sacked Herbert. And it's like that attention to detail is basically what Jim's trying to fix. But I get it. I get the frustration. I just don't think it's warranted. I think everybody needs to wait. And they have to remember he was out of the NFL for 9 years. He's coming back. He's trying to adjust. They're trying to see what their style of gameplay is going to be. And I just feel like everybody needs to relax a little bit. I mean, they're down to what? Tight end 3, 4, and 5. They have Scott Madlock at fullback. They're down to running back 2-3. Receivers are just bad, but
And
yeah,
interior offensive line not very
yeah,
good.
yeah. No, the inside of that offensive line is terrible. So I just I don't know. We'll see what happens moving forward.